If you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
So our oak leaves, okay to use for mulch, and also that black spot that's on those maple leaves, which is becoming a more predominant problem.
Yeah, can I use that for mulch in my garden? I have a large pile. Please advise. Thank you.
Yeah, you certainly can. You can use the oak leaves. You can use, we did a little bit of research on this. You can use those maple leaves that have that black spot on them. It's all okay. If anything else comes up and you're not quite sure, definitely hold off and, ask us. But those two are good to go.
Yeah, you can mulch them. The thing you want to be advised about with the oak leaves is they are very large leaves, and if you don't mulch them, they can mat down on the soil and create a barrier, and the water can't penetrate through them. So either you let them...
And they're thick. They're thick leaves.
Right. You can grind them up with a leaf mulcher. Now, if you don't have a leaf mulcher, off the record, you can take your lawnmower with a bagger and run over them, and it'll suck them up that way and chop them up, and you use them as mulch, and they'll feed your soil just fine. Steve would like to know, when is the proper time when do you plant rutabagas and turnips?
Sure. So we plant ours in the fall, or like late summer, the first week of August.
Yeah.
It's technically considered fall growing because you're going to get a fall harvest.
Turnips take 60 days. Rutabagas take 90 days to reach maturity.
We had 1 year of where we had success in the spring. And then ever since then, we haven't. So that's why we plant ours in the fall. That's where we find success.
The colder nights are best for these because as it frosts and freezes, they get sweeter, and the days get short, and they like that on their root system, and it's much better for the actual root system. And that's one way in which you can do it. We've had them go to seed in the spring, and we just find that fall planting is much, much better.
Joy asked, I have some pH strips that I've laid out on the soil around my seeds. The strips did not change color. I followed the instructions, so the pH on the strips would indicate on the back of the box it's about a 4. Will Epsom salt bring it down? Is there something in the house that I can sprinkle on the earth to bring the pH up, assuming a 5 might be better for my plants? Can you help? Some folks say some folks in the gardening world like to use coffee grounds. Does that bring the pH up or down? Well, first of all, let's talk about the pH level. pH is scaled on a scale from 0 to 14, neutral being 7.0. The lower the number, the more acidic it is, the higher the number, the more alkaline it is. Typical vegetables like a 6.5 to 7.2 range. Now, coffee grounds will not affect the pH, as coffee grounds are neutral, as they have been, the acidity has been brewed out of them. So coffee grounds won't affect the soil. It's a good nitrogen supplement, but dolomite and lime is actually something you can use. It's a more common soil amendment to raise the pH, to reduce the acidity in the soil, dolomite, lime. In order to lower the acidity, you can use other products. Now, whenever you're trying to adjust the pH, it takes a very long time. There are some more chemical applications in which you can speed up the soil, but it varies by about a half a point over a 12-month period. So it does take some time on that. Now, if you're wanting to lower your pH, you can simply just use adding compost, manure, aged manure, organic soil amendments like alfalfa meal. The soil will drop it. This compost will help bring that soil level down a little bit. So hopefully that will help. And again, your vegetables typically 6.5 to 7.2. If you're growing something like blueberries, the acidity needs to be about a 4 on that, 4 to 5.5, something in that range, because they do require very acidic soil. And you can get a general idea of where your pH is at from an in-store or local, pick it up from the big box store, your local independent garden center test kit. But really the best way to know exactly what you have and what you need to add is simply send it off to the local university extension office. So you can, obviously, the more money you spend, the more detailed information you can get, but you can get very detailed of how much is needed for a specific item or how much you don't need to add. Rich asked, I stored last year's harvest of garlic from my previous home. I moved in December, and in my garage of the new house, the garlic stayed. Can I plant it now, or should I freeze it for 3 or 4 weeks? I'm located in Fond du Lac, here in Wisconsin. Well, the reason why you would choose to freeze it is because if you're going to plant spring garlic needs a number of cold cycles on it to properly divide so you can harvest it in the fall, late fall. That's why typically we plant garlic in October and then harvest it in late June, early July. Southern gardeners and gardeners in very warm climates will take their garlic and put it in a gallon Zip-Top bag of soil and mix the garlic in there, the cloves, and freeze it for 3 or 4 weeks to put it through, to make it mimic it's in a winter climate. So for spring garlic, you could do that. We're kind of past the stage of actually getting it planted outside early and letting it hit some of those cold cycles. We were fortunate enough to put about a dozen cloves in the ground. We got several cold cycles on it, so it should divide properly. But yeah, you could go ahead and try that, but I would just recommend planting it more in the fall than the spring. Thank you for checking out the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show. For more, go to the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com for full-length in-studio video and podcast replay of Season 1. Season 2 underway and added weekly. Tweet us at TWVG Show or hashtag TWVG to be part of the program.